Hi guys, welcome to another interesting tutorial. I am Yinky, and in this tutorial I'll be sharing with you the sewing video. Recently I uploaded the pattern drafting tutorial of this video, and I promise you that I'm coming back to share with you the sewing tutorial of this same video. So I'm going to drop the link of the pattern drafting tutorial if you have not watched it, and here is the sewing tutorial. So here is the pattern that I drafted, and I added sewing allowance here. You can see I'm using my tape measure to trace the sewing allowance of 1/2 inch on both edges of the panel. So this is the front panel that I'm touching, the center front and the side panels. So I added sewing allowance also here, 1/2 inch sewing allowance here on the center front. So 1/2 inch sewing allowance will be added in order for you to be able to join the panels together. So we have the back here. I'm touching the back right now, and also the back yoke will you are going to add 1/2 inch sewing allowance also. 1/2 inches will be added to it to be able to join the yoke to the back bodies. So 1/2 inch will also be added here. So that's what I'm using my tape measure to trace. So after you have added the right sewing allowance, the next thing for you is to first of all turn your bodies, the yoke. So I'm trying to turn the yoke right now. So because I cut 2 pieces for the yoke each, so if you did not cut 2 pieces, you can use your bias tape to do that. But in my own case, I don't want anything to be revealed. That's why I'm turning it with each other. So I cut 2 pieces to be able to turn it. So I'm turning the neckline of the yoke right away. This is the back yoke, and after I have done that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and notch. I'll notch it out, then I'm going to top stitch for the neck to relax very well. And after I have done that, I'm done with the back yoke. Then I'll move to the front yoke. So the front yoke also, I'm going to use to turn it with each other. But if you are not turning with each other, if you are using a single yoke, you can use your bias tape to do the turning of the neckline. So that's why I hold the black neck bias, just to show you a bias tape. So if you don't know how a bias tape is, so the neckline is turned with another piece of yoke. So just to secure the neckline, then I'm going to go ahead and notch the neckline right away. And after I have done that, then I'm going to top stitch the neckline to make the neckline relax very well. So after I have relaxed the neckline by top stitching it, and I'm also going to match the sides so as to be able and go ahead and iron it, so that the neckline, the yoke will be relaxed. So the design at the front will be placed, and also the yoke. So before I do that, these are the panels of the front. So we have this and the side panel. So this is the pad, this is the bra foam pad. So you can call it bra foam pad in the market. So you can buy it in yards. So this also, we have the wording. The wording is the first pad, and the second pad we call it hip foam or bra foam. So that one, the second part does not have gum, but the first one is wording, the normal wording that we use to pad bra. That one has a gum. So I'm going to stitch it down because it does not have a gum. The second pad does not have a gum. We call it hip foam or bra foam. When you say that in the market, they will get you one. So it has 2 colors, the harsh and the light color. So that's how it is. So I'm going to use it. That's what I use to pad the bust area. So I'm going to fix the yoke. The center yoke will be placed right now. So after I have fixed the center yoke will be first of all placed. After I have fixed the pad, after I have attached the bra foam, so I'm going to place the center yoke like so. So this is how I'm going to place it. So I'll just go carefully. So this part, you must be careful while you are doing it. Don't rush it. Then you can use your pin to attach it. I use my office pin to first of all attach it, so that it won't be short, or it won't be enough. So because the net is kind of stretchy, and if you are not very careful, the fabric may not be accurate at the end of the day. So you need to first of all pin it down, and that pin will just direct whatever you are doing. So the pinning will help you a lot. So go ahead and pin it down before you stitch it, so that you will know that okay, this is accurate. So at the end of the day, the next thing to do after pinning it down is to stitch what you have pinned down. So I'm going to stitch it with half-inch sewing allowance, because that's the allowance that I added. So it mustn't be more than that. So the next, after I have done that, then I'll just go ahead and remove the pin one after the other. So one after the other, I'm going to get out the pins, and it's very, very interesting, and this will really come out nice and beautiful. So having done that, the next thing is to do the other side also, and I'll go ahead and press it very well. Press and press. So after I have pressed it very well, the next thing is to go ahead and bring the side panel. After I am done with this other side, we have two sides, so I've done one side, and what I'm trying to do is to fix the other side of the yoke, the center front. So I have the center front is being placed right now. It's well placed. So I'll bring the side. So the side will be placed right now to make it the complete front bodies. So this is to make it the complete front bodies. So I'm going to place it right away like so. This also will be joined together with half-inch sewing allowance. Half-inch sewing allowance will also be used to fix this. So I'll go ahead and place it. Then I'll do this also carefully. This will also be done carefully, so you don't need to rush, because here you are trying to fix the bust area, and you want to make the bust as flawless as it can be. So just be careful and take your time while you are here. So I'm going to use half-inch sewing allowance to do this also, and that's what I'm trying to do. So we have online and offline classes you can register for. If you are interested in this, you can call the numbers on the screen, and or you chat the first number, the glow line. You can chat me on the glow line. So thank you. So right now, what I am trying to do here is to fix the bust area, just to pad the bust. So that's what I'm trying to do. So the reason why I do use this bra foam is because it's kind of after fixing it, it will just look as if it's the normal ordinary bra foam that we do buy in the market. It's not hard, it's soft, and the texture is very, very okay. That's why I do use it, and it will still bring out what the shape that you want. You will still like the shape at the end of the day. So this is what it will look like. You can see it's beautiful. So I'll just go ahead and iron it. Press it very well, and before I go ahead and do that, then I'll fix the next side, the second side. I'll fix it, and after I have fixed it is the lining. So this is the lining. This is just the lining. That's and I have fixed the lining. I have joined the lining together. So I'm going to just place the lining like so. So the two lining, this is it. So I'll just fix the lining like so. The lining does not reach the center front. It's only the side panels that carries the lining. So I'm going to place the lining like so. So I'll place the lining like so. Though I'm going to turn it. You can see how I'm flipping it to the other side to be able to join the lining and use the lining to turn it. So this is where you are going to attach the lining to. You attach the lining to this part. So you can see the way I'm doing the lining to be able to attach it to this side, so that I'll be able to just turn everything in. nothing will be showing at the end of the day. So I'll go ahead and fix the lining like so. So whatever I have done to one side, I'm going to repeat the same process for the other side. So I'll start from this upper part, then sew it through to the downside. So you can just do this on the sewing allowance, or before you get to the sewing allowance, since the sewing allowance we use here is half of an inch, you can use the sewing allowance of a quarter of an inch and use it to do this. So I'll just go ahead and do this right away. The right side is facing it, so I am done with one side. So you can see the lining has covered that part. So I'll do the other side also the same way I did the first one. So that's the way I'm going to do this one also, the same way. So I'll go ahead and do that right away. I am done, and this is it. It has been secured. So I bring you the back bodice. So this is the back. I'm going to fix the yoke like so. Then the way I did for the front, I'm going to attach the yoke to the bodice with the pin, with my office pin. I will do that. I'll just go ahead and do it right away like this with my office pin. So after I'm done with this, the same way I do this is the way I'll do the second side also. Then I'm going to sew it down with 1/2 inch sewing allowance. The same sewing allowance goes for both. And having done that, this is so here what I want to do is that what I have pinned down, I'll be stitching it with 1/2 inch sewing allowance, and that's what I'm trying to do here. So just go ahead and do the sewing with 1/2 of an inch sewing allowance. So having done that, I'm almost through with the joining of the yoke, the back yoke. So we are still on the back. So this is what we have. So the same process, I'm going to repeat it for the second back panel. So I will repeat the same process for this. Then the next thing is to bring the lining. This is the lining. So I'll flip the lining and use it to turn it inside, to turn this sewing allowance inside. And I'll be showing you how I'm going to do that. This is how I'm going to do that right away. So I'll just use the lining to turn it inside like so. So the lining does not get to the yoke. You are not going to cut lining for the yoke. It's only the side that has the ankara that will have the yoke, the lining. So I'm going to turn this part. This part I'm turning is the zipper allowance. So I will turn with 1/2 of an inch and turn it to the right side like so. So one side is ready. Then I will repeat the same process for both sides. So I'm trying to fix the front and back together, to join the front and back together using the sewing allowance. So we have the back is ready, and the front also is placed on each other. And I'm going to pin it down like this. Use my pin to hold the front and the back bodies together in order to be able to input the sewing allowance, to input the measurement. So right here I'll be joining the sides together like so, using the right seam allowance, the side seam allowance. So the side seam allowance that I added while I started was 1 inch. So that 1 inch will be joined together like so. Then after having joined the ankara, I have joined the ankara together. I will also join the lining, then join the shoulder. What I'm trying to do here is just to couple the dress together. So here, after I have done everything, this is what I have. You can see how beautiful it is. So I'm trying to just put my hand inside and to see how it is. So this is it. The next thing to do is to fix the sleeve. So before I fix the sleeve, I'll first of all input my armhole circumference. The armhole circumference that I'll be using for this tutorial is 9 I think it's 19, and 19 divided by 2 will give me 9.5. So, and that's what I have just input with my tape measure, and I trim the excess out. So this is the shape, the armhole we have, and this is the fabric, the same fabric, the lace that I'm going to use for the sleeve. So the sleeve will now be the round sleeve. Since the round sleeve is 12 inches, so 12 inches times 3 of the round sleeve is the measurement you are going to place here. So I have times 3 of 12 here, which is 36. So if you have 36 here, you're going to fold that 36 like so, because we are cutting the two sleeves together. Fold the 36 like so, fold it into 2. You can make it 2 times the round sleeve or 3 times the round sleeve. So I think what I have here is almost 2 times the round sleeve. So it depends on how full and bulky you want the sleeve to be, and the sleeve length, your desired sleeve length. Since it's a puff sleeve that will have a rubber, you're going to add 3 inches to your desired sleeve length. So at it being you're using 16 inches, you're going to make it 19 because you want it to kind of puff. So I think your sleeve length, if your sleeve length is 10, you're going to make it 13. So that's what I mean by adding 3 inches extra allowance to it. So this is the sleeve cap that I just marked. The sleeve cap is 5 inches. Then I mark it, so I will cuff it up to that length part, then trace it down like so. So it's not something difficult to make a puff sleeve at all, because at the end of the day we are still going to pleat the sleeve edges on the armhole. So whichever way you do it, it's the right way. So if it's surplus, you're going to pleat it on the armhole. So this part that I'm marking is 3 inches up. 3 inches up, I just mark it, and that is, I'll notch it out, and that is where I'm going to place my 1/2 inch width rubber. So that elastic rubber will be placed on that notch. So I'm just going to place it straight. So the measurement of the elastic rubber will just be the round sleeve measurement minus 2, or the exact round sleeve measurement if you don't want it too tight. So here is my belt. This is where I'm going to place the belt. So you can place, after I have joined it together, you can just lose it back and input your belt if you forgot to do that. So here I want to place my rubber. So this is where the sleeve will stop. So I'm going to measure the round sleeve here. I have 10, so I can cut 8 inches. The rubber can be 8 inches or the exact 10. So that means I will not add any sewing allowance to the rubber. So I'm cutting the 10 inches exactly. So out of that 10, I'm still going to use like half inch for the sewing allowance, or 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So I will just go ahead and use the rubber to drag the fabric. So I'll just place the rubber on it, on that line, the line that I notched. I'll place the rubber like so and use it to drag the fabric. So I need 2 of this rubber. I need 2, the elastic rubber. So I'll go on my sewing machine right now and just place the rubber. So here, this is the rubber. The rubber is on that line. You know, I say you are going to mark 3 inches from the sleeve edge up. So then you're going to place the rubber. Just reverse your stitch like so, and after you reverse, you start pulling the rubber. So as you are pulling the rubber, you are gathering the fabric. So just go ahead and do that. Pull the rubber and gather the fabric. So after I have done that, then the same, I'm going to use soldering iron for the sleeve edge, since it's a lace and I want the lace edge, the beautiful lace edge to show. I'll use my soldering iron to trace it out. Then I'm done with the sleeve. Then the same process I used for one sleeve, I'll use for the other sleeve also. I'll bring the other sleeve also and use the same process for the other sleeve, and join by 1/2 inch sewing allowance by the side. So 1/2 inch sewing allowance is okay for me. So it depends on the sewing allowance that you left while you are placing your rubber. so I'll just use that half-inch sewing allowance and just join it up. So since it's a free kind of a thing, so sleeve, so I'm just going to place the sleeve like so, and whatever pleat that I'm going to pleat, the pleat must be on the shoulder. The pleat must be on the shoulder like 3 inches before we get to the shoulder. So that's where I'm going to spread the pleat. So here I'm trying to fix the sleeve and pleat on the shoulder. So I'll just pleat on the shoulder. All the pleats will stay on the shoulder, like. And we have almost come to the end of the tutorial. So this is what I have after fixing the sleeve, and I also have tutorials on how to make a circular pattern. So if you want to know how you can make a proper circular pattern, how to cut a flare, so I'm going to drop the link of these videos in the description box. Then I'll see you in my next video.